And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rosicle. My name's Nathaniel. I'm one of the hosts here at the channel. And today I wanted to ask a very important question. How much hype is too much hype for a video game, and does it help or hurt more? Because I feel like I have a very unpopular opinion on this. So let's jump into the topic here today. Okay, so the other day I was on Discord and I was talking to one of my friends, and we were talking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Supposedly an incredible video game. Have I played it? No. Has he played it? Also no. And we were having a conversation about how we thought that the hype around the game has actually incentivized us not to play it as much because there's been such a buildup that the game is honestly more likely to disappoint me than it is to excite me, because it's not this indie that I'm giving a shot that turns out to be a masterpiece. It's this preconceived masterpiece that if it doesn't quite land right and it's just a solid game, that would be a disappointment. And we feel this way about more than just Clair Obscur. So I wanted to just kind of sit down for a moment, chat about what that feeling is, and maybe you guys share it, and just have a little discussion. When we were talking about it, we also mentioned the game Dispatch. You see, that's one that Ashley has actually been very excited for. Or at least she used to be. Maybe you guys can hear over there. She really wants to play Dispatch. And so you see, I should love the idea of Dispatch. It's about superheroes. It's mature. It's a Telltale style game. It's got an incredible cast. Like, there's so much going for this. And guess what? Everybody hypes it up. They say it's incredible. And at the end of the day, that has actually made me less likely to want to buy it. When I see it on the sale, I just think, man, this has such a high bar that it now has to reach. And if it reaches it, that just kind of became expectation. And I think that that's one of the things that I dislike, the most about hype, is this idea that when you set the bar so high, even if the game achieves that, legendary status, that incredible status, it met expectations. It didn't exceed expectations where it would have if you just went into the game going, great, I expect this to be a good time. Not, this is going to be the next masterpiece that I talk about to my friends for years to come. And I think genuinely that is the biggest issue I have with hype. Here's a great example. Okay, at time of recording, I think today, right? I think today is the day that Crimson Desert releases. And when I first saw Crimson Desert and I saw a bunch of stuff for Crimson Desert, I got really excited. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to kind of passively hear about this game, but I'm not going to give in to the hype. I'm not going to just keep getting more and more excited about this game to where it has to be this absolute masterpiece that has absolutely no flaws that I must play on release. Because if I view it in that lens, I'm guaranteeing that the game does nothing more than meet expectations or worse. Whereas right now, I know the game's coming out today. I'll buy the game when I know it's the right time for me to have, 100 plus hours to sink into an open world RPG. Maybe it'll be on a nice sale price that feels good. And I'll go into it with expectations that I will probably enjoy this game. It sounds like it has a lot of potential, but I'm not letting the hype get to me and going in expecting a masterpiece. If it turns out to be that, I will be pleasantly surprised rather than just, great, it achieved what I already expected it to. And I think, honestly, I can see this in all sorts of situations. I just recorded a video and we were talking about a video where we were basically saying that there's a lot of games that I kind of force myself to play because of the hype and the mainstream status of the game, or even just because they're a type of game that I tell myself I want to enjoy. Oh, I want to love single player open world RPGs. But at the end of the day, I just happen to get a lot more out of like a small indie strategy roguelite or something like that. And another thing that I've noticed is that if a game has a lot of hype around it and I'm not playing it when it comes out, and I've given into the hype, but I'm not able to play it when it comes out, or I didn't purchase it, or for whatever reason, I had to avoid the game for a little bit of time. And then the hype grows and people say, yes, it was a masterpiece. Yes, it lived up to expectations. Yes, it did all of those things. I'm more likely to avoid that game going forward because I now know, oh, great, this actually did what it was supposed to do. And now I'm scared of it falling flat for me. What if I don't like Red Dead Redemption 2? What if I don't like GTA? What if I don't like God of War Ragnarok? I've played that one, but you get the gist. What if thank goodness I played Spider-Man when it came out, but I kind of did the same thing with Spider-Man 2 when that game came out. I was so hyped for that game that what was ultimately a good game felt completely bad because I expected a masterpiece like the first game, and I got something that was good. There's nothing wrong with Spider-Man 2. I think there's a lot wrong with Spider-Man 2, but Spider-Man 2 is not a bad game. But because I went into it with so much hype and I expected a masterpiece, when I was given a good game, I came out of it disappointed. When I go into a game expecting really nothing and just hoping that it is a good game, I'm pleasantly surprised when it's a good game. And if it's a masterpiece, I'm talking about it for the next year. Everybody in my life is going to hear about how Slay the Spire is rivaling Magic the Gathering and how much I enjoy deck building on that game. That's because it turned out to be a masterpiece, and I tried to level the hype and just went, I'm just going to experience this game. I'm going to see what it's like, and I love it, at least right now. You guys are seeing me in my obsessive Slay the Spire phase because I started playing it like a week and a half ago or something like that?
No, like 5 days ago.
I've only played it for like 5 days?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. Really? I started it over break?
Yeah, you started it like the weekend.
Any hoosers. So it's very new to me. But at the end of the day, I can already tell it's going to be a game I continue playing. Just like how I started playing Into the Gungeon 7 years ago, something like that, at a buddy's house. And I still talk about that game to date. So excited for the second game. I hope that they do good with that, right? But again, I'm excited for the second game. I don't want to hype it up like it's going to be a masterpiece. And honestly, I'm very likely to be disappointed by Into the Gungeon 2 if I hype it up to be a masterpiece, if I let myself build that hype train, because I'm just setting the bar higher. I'm making it more likely that I'm disappointed and less likely that I'm pleasantly surprised. I don't think that's a good thing. I think genuinely the best thing that we can do is build excitement for games and then just kind of let that excitement kind of die off. You know what I mean? For example, we were driving back from a trip that we took yesterday, and we were listening to a lot of music, and we mainly listened to, personally, my favorite artist. His name's NF. And in one of his songs, he has a line that says he'll drop a song out of nowhere and all the buzz will resurface, right? In that analogy, he's basically saying, look, if you go quiet for a while and you let the kind of hype and excitement build to the point where it's actually kind of neutralized and then something suddenly surges, people are super excited for it. There's a ton of hype around it, but they didn't have expectations for it. So if it's anything above good, it's seen as something that's a positive. Whereas if something is expected to be a masterpiece and it lands at good or great, that's actually seen as a negative because it fell flat of the extremely high bar that you set. And so we end up in this situation where I'm afraid, I'm worried to play Red Dead Redemption 2 because if it doesn't sit with me for 5 years to come, I feel like the game didn't do what it was supposed to do. I'm worried to play The Witcher 3 because if I don't come away from that game going, what a masterpiece, what an open world, what an RPG mechanics, what a DLC that expanded so much, I'm worried that the game will fall flat of that. I'm worried to play Elden Ring because what if I don't enjoy the fact that the game is so open and doesn't handhold you as much as the typical open world RPG? Maybe I'm going to love that aspect. Maybe that aspect makes it a masterpiece like so many people say it does. But what if that doesn't resonate with me? Well, then the game becomes good or great or okay or whatever it would be, which is a positive sentiment. But because the bar was set at masterpiece, I walk away from the game disappointed. I walk away from the $70 I spent disappointed rather than going, you know what, I got a good experience out of that and I'm happy I played it. I go, man, Elden Ring really fell flat of the expectations. And I think that's a problem. I think we got to stop doing that, right? Like, what game am I most excited for this year right now? Probably the Lego Batman game. That might genuinely be the most excited game I have this year. Maybe, is Enter the Gungeon 2 supposed to come out this year? Is that set to release? Then maybe that tops it. but like I'm excited for Lego Batman. But I'm trying to level the hype because if I get the game, I pay $70 for it, which is too much for a Lego game. That's a topic for another time. And I end up having a good or even a great experience. I don't want to walk away from that good or great experience going, you know what? This fell flat for me. A good or great video game should not fall flat. But the problem is when we hype something up to be a masterpiece, when we hype something up to be this game that is going to sit with you for days or weeks or months or years to come, then the reality is the game can't do that for everyone. The game might do that for the majority of people, but the game can't do that for everyone. And if you happen to be in the minority that just gets something good out of it, you are now viewing that as a negative. And I think that that's my biggest issue with hype. And maybe, Tyler, if you ever see this, he was the buddy I was talking to about this. Maybe he can agree, maybe he can disagree. And we want to know what you guys think down in the comments. But how does hype affect your enjoyment of video games? Do you try to avoid it? Obviously, this can get into different conversations about like spoilers and how much of a game do you actually want to spoil for yourself and whatnot. And I do think that there's an element of hype that's a good thing, right? When I'm working through the backlog, one of the best things that you can do, I've noticed, before you sit down and play a game is maybe watch the trailer for it, right? Because that's tailored to not spoil too much of the game, but it's designed to get you excited. I don't think it's a problem to sit down and play a game and be excited for it. I think it's a problem to sit down and play a game and have an expectation from it. And I think that there's a big difference between those two words, but we kind of throw them into the same pile a lot, right? Often we sit down excited for a game because of what we expect from it. But really what we need to do is sit down and be excited for a game and be open to whatever the game ends up being for us, right? I love Lord of the Rings. I sat down and I played Shadow of Mordor. I did not play that game when it came out. I played that game in the big 26, okay? That game it didn't work for me, man. It was just the controls weren't great. It was repetitive. The map was really small. It didn't look good. And you know what? I got about like 5 hours in. I turned to Ashley and I was like, I'm going to keep playing it. And she was like, no, stop. You don't need to get anything out of this game. You went in expecting something great, and you're going to keep forcing yourself to play it, trying to find what you expected, when really you need to just come out of the game and be honest and true to yourself about what it was for you. And I think having that perspective going into any sort of game is a better way to approach it, right? I can get a lot more out of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 if I go into the game and go, you know what? Everyone says this is a masterpiece, but I don't know what this is going to be for me. So I'm not going to expect that. I'm excited for whatever this game ends up being for me. I'm excited for whatever Baldur's Gate ends up being for me. I'm excited for whatever The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, all of these games that I have truly avoided because of a fear of hype and expectation. You need to level those expectations, keep the excitement, and go into a game and go, I'm going to get out of this game whatever I get out of it. And it does not have to be the same thing that everybody else got out of it. I don't have to love Breath of the Wild, and I'm more likely to love it because I'm not forcing myself to love it. I don't have to love this game, that game, or whatever it might be. So it kind of ties in the last video that I made. That's kind of where I'm at. We want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Does hype kill a game for you? Does hype help a game for you? I think I kind of landed on the perfect explanation in terms of what it does for me. I think that hype built around excitement is a good thing. It gets me excited to play a game, and it gets me feeling good that I'm getting the opportunity to play it. I think that hype built into an expectation tends to leave me feeling like I want more from a game, or tends to leave me not as impressed or not as happy with the game as I should be. So I like to build excitement, but not expectations for a game, and I think that's how you should manage hype. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Any and all of it is greatly appreciated. Let us know what you guys think about these commentary videos. We haven't done too many of these, but we've kind of enjoyed them in the past. We've done a lot talking about Magic, but we've been kind of, not avoidance of Magic, but we've been a little disinterested in Magic as it's been focused on universes beyond and things that we're not as interested in. So we're talking about other hobbies of ours, and video games is a really big one. So let us know what you guys think. I enjoyed getting to talk about it. I enjoyed getting to share my perspective on hype. Let's stop getting hyped about games and let's just go into them excited for what they are, right? And yeah, all right. I think that's everything. So we'll see you guys in whatever comes next. Did I do that right? We'll see you guys in whatever comes next. But until then, there we go. May those rolls be ever in your favor. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.